Back again, YouTube family. This is Mark with Osiris transitioning. And what we're going to do now is, I'm in Pang Lao, and there's no power in Pang Lao. So what I'm going to do is go back to an interview that I did in San Carlos City that I had not posted. It's Conversations with Cleg. I'm sure you'll enjoy. Conversations with Cleg. I'm sure you'll enjoy. YouTube family, I'm still with my buddy Cleg here, and today, at this moment, we're going to talk about saving face in the Philippines.
Well, be warned that, how would I put it, that the biggest insult you can give to a Filipino person is not allowed, by accusing them of the sins they committed. Even though they steal your wallet or try to, don't accuse them in public or in front of their family. You'll end up dead in an alley or shot in the back of the head. Especially if you're drunk at a bar, chasing skirt. Don't insult the woman or the doorman, The only time I've ever heard of a foreigner being assaulted or actually killed is when they insulted the sins against them.
Yeah, I've also heard that secondhand. I have never witnessed it myself, but within the Philippine culture, you must always give them a way out of their discretion.
Yes.
And if you corner them or expose them in a way, especially amongst their family and their children, it's not forgiven.
No. And
it's a death sentence to yourself.
And they won't approach you publicly also. They won't respond at the instance that you insulted them.
Right.
It'll be a little later on, and you'll be facing dire consequences.
Yeah, bushwhackers.
Yeah, well, and guns are legal here.
Right.
My wife has a gun because I can't.
Right.
And automatic weapons are legal.
Right.
So just beware. Don't get drunk and pick fights with the local.
Right.
And don't insult your cousin or your uncle.
Right. And don't come with the Western mentality that you're arrogant and superior, and you think you can punk a Filipino or anything like that. It would be detrimental to your health and your well-being.
And it doesn't happen every time, of course. You don't read the news that another drunk American is dead.
But he's probably missing.
Yeah. But he's probably home and scared for the rest of his life, So. The second quickest way is politics and religion.
Yeah.
Politics, and it's difficult for the Western or the European man not to get involved with politics, but do not get involved. And once you stop getting involved in politics and religion, it's free.
Right. So what even about in the home when you're sitting with your girl and y'all might be talking about politics and she talks about how he loves Pacquiao and
we don't talk about that.
Okay. Yeah, you said something earlier to me about how simplistic the conversation is with the Filipina.
Yeah.
Is that she won't even engage you in those type of ways, that she's more interested in family and the simplicity in conversation.
Yes. And she's college educated.
Right.
She may have a doctorate, went to school 6 years.
Right.
But she do not talk politics, do not talk religion, which are my two favorite conversations to bullshit about.
Right.
And that's very important. It really doesn't matter in the long run because you're a guest.
Right. So you've been coming here for quite a while. How do you cope with would you consider the conversation with the Filipina superficial? Or how do you cope with the long-term aspects of dealing with a Filipina with surface conversation?
It's important to find people in the same mindset you are, like you and I. Even though we grew up different, we have different political opinions, the Filipina is not interested in politics and religion. I mean, they're religious and they're political, but it's not your place. It's not your country. If you get a dual citizenship, yeah, go ahead and vote. Maybe post on Facebook your opinions. But here, it's nothing but digging your own grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what type of communication do you normally find yourself having with your Filipina?
We talk about family.
Family is love. Love is family.
Sharing is caring.
Right. So elaborate on that a little bit for me.
We were talking earlier, I buy 100 pounds of rice every month. As soon as the rice shows up at my house, 50 pounds of it are gone.
Right.
And my wife doesn't tell, my fiance doesn't tell me where it went.
Right.
But
so do you inquire about it, or?
Well, yeah, every time. Yeah. It's $50. Yeah.
Right.
But she just looks at me with a dumbfounded look and says, "Family."
And so then you just hug her and go to the bedroom?
No, I buy another.
You buy another 100 pounds. I got you.
And it's amazing to see these delivery guys who work for $5 a day carry. They weigh more. They weigh.
The rice is more than them, huh?
Yeah, they weigh less than the bag of rice. A bag of 50 kilos of good rice costs you $60 US, 70 US. But this guy is carrying twice his weight at sometimes.
Right, like an ant.
Yep. And bugs, we should talk.
Yeah, let's talk about the bugs. You know, that's like the unwritten or unspoken thing. I've been coming to the Philippines. Like, the first time I really encountered bugs was in Manila. I went to Santa Ana in Manila, and it was a nice, tight, knitted community for the Filipinos and the expats that know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And we were in a situation where I was in it was like a 3-flat, but it really wasn't. It was all one unit. You know, the whole family kind of lived there, the mother, the grandfather, the children, everything. And they were coexisting with the bugs. So in the corner, it was like 15 of the biggest roaches I had ever seen in my life.
And roaches fly here and very accomplished.
Right.
And they bite.
Right. And nobody seemed to care that the roaches was there but me. Now, I'm from the hood, man.
Yeah.
I'm from Chicago.
And that's why we have feral cats here. They eat cockroaches and they stalk and kill them.
Okay, so really what it is there's an ecosystem. You got the cats that eat the roaches, the geckos that eat
the geckos or the lizards are not killed here.
Right.
They're accepted. They poop all over. Sometimes you're eating dinner and there's geckos on your roof.
Right.
Right? You go into your bathroom and on the sink there's little tiny poops, you know?
Right.
It's from the gecko. But
okay.
They don't kill geckos because they eat the mosquitoes and the damaging insects.
Yeah, you know,
and ants, like the fancy place you're staying at.
Yeah,
Mahawani.
Right. They're not trying to kill them ants.
No, the ants are everywhere.
Yeah.
In your bed, you know.
Yeah.
Crawling on your bathroom sink. They come through the plumbing, whatever.
Right.
So if you have a fear of ants, or a fear of insects. I often grab insects and inspect them, and my old lady thinks I'm nuts.
Yeah.
She says, "Love, don't touch it. It's a beetle." And this beetle has fluorescent colors the size of my thumb.
Oh, wow.
You know, just magnificent creature. And she says, "Don't touch it. It's a bug."
So they have managed to learn how to coexist within their own environment.
Yes.
And they understand the quality of the ecosystem in which
right.
they live.
There's good bugs and bad bugs.
Right.
The bad bug is the mosquito.
Right. But they don't physically kill them themselves. They rely on...
Well, they kind of clap. Clap, clap, snap, snap. If you
hey, look, the only time I seen that, somebody was hailing a pedicab.
Yeah. But lizards are cool, man. They eat the bugs. They coexist with your family. And if they survive long, I used to cut off when you try to catch them, their tail removes.
It'll grow back.
Yeah, but now you can give it a name because it doesn't look like the other gecko or other.
Oh, so you can identify.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next time one drops from the ceiling on your plate of rice, grab the little shit, pull off its tail, let it survive, and now you have a friend for life.
Okay, so what is the probability of actually that happening? Like geckos just fall from the ceiling on the regular, or what? What happens?
Even the fanciest homes, the villas, have lizards.
Yeah, you know, King Solomon even said that you can find a spider in the king's house.
Yep. And spiders are not killed here because they also eat the bad bugs.
Okay.
They create a web which catches the mosquitoes and the flies.
Right.
So you coexist with.
Right. So if you really want to come to a place where people are organic and willing to coexist with nature, the Philippines, you would say, would be the place to be.
Being a Darwinist and an evolutionist, this is heaven.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have been going through a lot of gout outbreaks, but actually since I showed up in the Philippines in the midst of an outbreak, but since then, my feet has actually gotten better. But I ran into Cleg, and we had a discussion about prescription medications and prescription medication cost. And he had informed me that as long as that the medication isn't narcotic
Or opiate.
or opiate, you can purchase it across just across the counter. And we want to talk about that and prescription costs.
Right. Well, the first word, when you go to a pharmacy, they're everywhere. There's 3 of them around us right now. The first thing, as long as it's not an opiate, the myth that you can buy drugs over the counter without a doctor's prescription, narcotics,
Right.
you know, Valium, whatever you're into, sleeping pills, Ambien, you know, whatever you're into, it's not true. Even with a doctor's prescription, it's highly regulated. But anything else, like gout medication, hypertension medication, I would say it's 1/5 the price of here in America.
Yeah.
I mean, there in America and Europe, other places.
And I would say that's my experience. I take 100 milligrams of alpurinol, and he told me about a pain reducer from the pain of gout, which I had not even been referred that type of medicine from a physician in the United States. And the name of it is...
Well, I don't know how you say it properly. It's clocinine.
Clocinine, that's exactly what it is.
There's big news now. It was supposedly the new COVID secret cure-all.
Right.
Because it's a Chinese plant. They don't know why it works. It's some type of inhibitor that stops the gout pain, the needle, the sharp gout pain. But it's a wonderful drug.
Yeah,
and also it's a wonderful way to kill your wife because the toxicity level is very thin. You may feel fine, but if you take too much, it's like castor beans or a plant poison.
Yeah, and it's for arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, gout arthritis, and things like that.
Mediterranean fever is its big use.
And also women who have extreme pain as a result of menstrual cycles.
Yep.
And but to make a long story short, we're getting at is the medical costs. When I went to get that particular pill, it was 3 pesos a pill. So what I did, and my alpurinol, I got a 90-day prescription of alpurinol for my gout, and then a 90-day prescription of the clocinine for $40.
Yeah.
My copay with my doctor, even with my medical, I couldn't even have gotten that medicine without a doctor's visit.
Right.
Even though I had a running condition.
Right.
I would have to go re-see him and pay the doctor's fee.
$300-400.
Oh, exactly.
US dollars.
Right. So, there is a considerable savings for those who are interested and concerned about, medical prescription costs in the Philippines.
Yes. And, for example, I have eczema. And in the United States, steroids is highly regulated.
Yeah.
Here, it's not a narcotic. So for all you steroid freaks, it is available, mostly oral. You know, once you start talking injectables, usually a doctor's script. But for my steroid cream and my dermatologist visit for 2 months supply was $20 US.
Yeah. So, I mean, like if you have medical conditions and things like that, and it almost seems, it almost seems like you could go to WebMD and just self-diagnose yourself. Go ahead, get your script for all of those guys that said that kind of thing.
And in America, you can go to Canada or Mexico online and get these things.
Okay.
But what's nice here is you just pick a number. Everything's orderly. You go to a pharmacy. You're either number 1 or number 50.
Right.
And walk up, and they say 2 things: out of stock, or yes, we have it.
Right. What about erectile dysfunctions?
Well,
those type of guys, are those type of medicines that are discounted here?
They're usually sold on the streets here.
Okay.
Because they see us old men a mile away. But I don't use them, but I have found that usually the pharmacies here do not carry them.
Okay.
You know.
So are the ones that's on the street, are they authentic?
Yeah, they're legit stuff.
Okay.
There's a couple local penis erectile dysfunction drugs, but you're messing with a hard-on for 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like black tuxedo. Ask Calvin about that stuff.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Hey, look, but one thing I would have to say is that the beauty and the quality of the women here is a natural aphrodisiac.
Yeah.
I mean, like, any sexual problems that you have due to stress and anxieties and things like that,
But it is a real thing.
Yeah.
There are gentlemen who need a little help. And here, if you find a good doctor, pay him $50 US per visit, and you'll be able to get it. Maybe not in a small town like this. This town is 100,000 people, which is considered small, in a 5 square mile area. So it seems crowded, but it's actually but if you go to a larger city like Bacolod City, which is 2 hours away, it has 500,000 people, it's available at pharmacies. So,
yeah. All right.
And your point of sometimes you don't need it anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, there's nothing like holding a woman half your age to stimulate you into lower extremities, if you know what I'm talking about.
And the women here are not concerned about your sexual performance. They don't think, because once you are satisfied, it's okay to roll over and go to sleep.
Right. You don't have to beat it up for 2 hours, guys.
Yeah.
Right.
And